It's another Sunday, it's another brawl, what are we doing?
Nonsense Rumble!
That's exactly right, we've got a bit of a mouthful for a category. Do you want to explain it to the gang at home?
Disney animated mage villain, and in brackets, Hades is banned because he's God.
Yeah. I think, like, if we're gonna include Hades, it'd be like, Hades isn't even the best pick, because... Oh, wait, no, Hades is, because we specified villain. Never mind.
Yeah.
But anyway...
Well,
go on, sorry.
I mean, if you're Hercules, then Hera is also a villain to you, because...
Not in a Disney movie, she ain't.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
The biggest trick Disney ever did was pulling off the fact that Zeus is a loving family man.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus.
No, he doesn't exist in Greece. Anyway, for those of you joining us for a Rumble for the first time, we pick characters that fit the category and we argue why our guy would beat your guy. Sometimes it's a girl, but we're using guy in the gender-neutral sense because we're special that way. Aren't we, Rick?
Yes, we are very definitely special that way.
Alrighty, so... I should really cut that, but anyway. Who's your honourable mention today, Rick?
My honourable mention is Maleficent, because most of her greatest achievements are in non-animated form, and she gets killed by a dude on a horse with a sword.
Yeah, but that's because it's a fairy tale.
Yeah. Her non-animated versions are either within games or even the Angelina Jolie version get up to a lot more grand exploits. But yeah, we're going by animated. So yeah, she's my honourable mention.
I will say this does not bode well for me if you're going based solely on animated feats.
Okay. Who's going to be your honourable mention?
My honourable mention is Ursula from The Little Mermaid, because she does a damn good fucking go at it, but yeah, she gets fucking wrecked.
Yeah, she gets stabbed by a boat.
She gets stabbed by a boat, and even if you go by Kingdom Hearts, the video game, she gets killed by just Triton getting his trident again.
Yeah, and most of her powers come from when she has the trident. Although that said, she still can bind people by contract. So she's basically like a D&D devil.
I mean, she's got plenty of magic in her arsenal. It's just not omnipotent magic. But Triton's got a lot of magical power. He just doesn't use it.
Yeah. And a lot of what he's got is just kind of like up in the trident.
It's one of those where Triton is technically Poseidon, which means Ariel and Hercules are technically cousins.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's honourable mentions out the way. Shall we get to our actual picks? Who's winning today, Rick?
Well, I'm picking someone who you might tell me to F off at this. It is one Emperor Bellos.
That's a good question, because he doesn't actually have magic.
So he can use magic without his staff.
He's got the glyphs, and I guess the glyphs are magic. I'll allow it.
Yeah, so it's implied that the reason that he's able to use the magic is because of the sheer number of souls within him that are essentially sacrificial lambs for what is essentially the Titan punishing him for using magic that is not his. It needs the power of a demigod to put him down, and not only that, he needs all of the power of that demigod to be given to someone other than him, so he doesn't have a claim to it anymore.
I mean, again, we're taking non-god version of Bellos here, right?
Oh yeah, we're not taking like when he fuses with the Titan and becomes the Boiling Isles. We're talking about like when he's still able to, do an on-foot duel with people, which he tends to win.
Does he? Because we don't tend to see it happen.
Sure.
Just saying, every time he's had a confrontation in the show, he got bitch slapped by Lilith. Back in the past, but we're not taking that version anyway. The other time he had a duel, it was just against the Collector, and that's not fair.
Yeah, so he got flicked by the Collector, and then the one where he does kind of win is where he's against the gang in the human world.
But he's not. But he's possessing Hunter at that point, isn't he?
Yeah, but I think that's more indicative of what he would be able to do in his own body if the chips were down and he had nothing to lose.
Perhaps. I'm just remembering that fucking gross scene at the end of that flashback episode with his giant pulsating arm with all the glyphs on it.
Yeah. So Emperor Bellos is my pick. Now that you have a slight chance, who do you pick?
A slight chance indeed. I have picked Oogie Boogie.
Oogie Boogie?
Now,
man, he doesn't even do that much magic, does he?
Here's the thing, Rick, is I'm basing a lot of his mage status on the fact that he's a mage in Kingdom Hearts.
Okay.
in that his attack, all that shit that he does with the casino, he basically in the movie he basically does by just randomly summoning them out of thin air, which I count as magic,
Sure.
which means I'm saying
Okay.
Oogie Boogie is a mage. If you wish to disallow it, I can do an arse pull.
It's up to you. Would you like to disqualify yourself to arse pull to try and beat Emperor Balos?
I'm not disqualifying myself. No, I'm asking you if you want me to arse pull or not, because I can arse pull if you want to, because you think Oogie Boogie doesn't count. If you think Oogie Boogie counts,
No.
then I will gladly stick with Oogie Boogie.
Yeah, we can have Oogie Boogie with his Halloween magic that he can summon carousels and casino stuff.
Yeah, I think Oogie Boogie wins because of his unpredictable nature, and I think that's all he's got going for him against Balos, because Balos is quite a competent mage, and the only thing is I think his body does him no favours, because I think the only reason he was able to go all out was because he was possessing Hunter, because his body's falling apart.
Yeah, when he's in his regular body, he very definitely needs more and more talismans to stop himself from degenerating. Meanwhile, Oogie Boogie has the same problem. If he gets unraveled, then he's nothing.
Yeah, he's just a bunch of bugs.
Yeah.
It's one of those where it's very much like, what's the opposite of unstoppable force and immovable object?
Yeah, it's just
Tiny force, very
just-
immovable object.
Yeah, it's just two glass cannons, and it's a case of, does the glass cannon blow itself up, or does it blow up its target first?
I genuinely believe that we might get our first draw, not because they're both so strong, but because they're both pathetically weak.
Yeah, like they both have good, essentially offense, with an asterisk. Good ways to inconvenience their opponent.
Here's what I'm also thinking, Rick, is I think Luz could beat Oogie Boogie, and I think Jack Skellington could beat Balos.
I don't know if Jack Skellington could beat Emperor Balos.
Go on.
Just because his abilities as the Pumpkin King are not on par with, a gang of mages,
But that gang of mages didn't beat Balos either, but if you want to get technical, Balos got beaten by the Titan.
Yeah, by Titan Loose from the heart, yeah.
Saying, can Titan Loose beat Oogie? Titan Loose can beat almost anyone.
Yeah. Can Titan Loose beat Goku? No.
Well, no, but Goku's Goku and Goku's bullshit, and that argument needs to stop.
Yeah.
Again, I think Oogie Boogie's really got the unpredictable nature going for it. I think Oogie Boogie could do a real good job of convincing Balos that he's a dumb lackey, only to stab him in the back in the funniest of ways.
Yeah. I think Oogie Boogie, if you did it as a large space between them, I think Oogie Boogie would basically set up so many obstacles that Balos can't get to him, and would win by timeout, essentially.
Yeah, I get the feeling that Balos just wouldn't put up with the bullshit and leave.
Yeah, or he'd find a way to just blast through everything.
But he doesn't have that ability.
Yeah.
Like we've also got to bear in mind, another reason why Hunter owned the group while he was possessed by Balos is because the group didn't want to hurt Hunter.
Yeah, that is a part of it. Yeah. I'm happy for a stalemate here.
I really want to push for an Oogie win, but I'll settle for a stalemate if I have to. I just think you're pumping up Balos more than he deserves, because I think a lot of Balos' strong moments are when he's possessing other people.
Yeah.
I
I think if it came down to a judge's decision, I think the judges would give it to Oogie for controlling the battlefield.
We're adding a fucking element that we've never used before.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, if it comes down to judge,
yeah,
like we're doing our best not to do too many draws, and bringing it down to judge probably is the way to do that.
Again, I also think Oogie Boogie would be the more entertaining fighter, so even if you weren't going from like a control aspect and just like who's throwing out the more offense, I think Balos would be like, when you see two boxers and one is just like a fucking slugger and the other one's a technical boxer, who do you prefer to watch?
Yeah, you definitely want to watch the technique guy, because
that's actually incorrect.
Especially okay.
Because technique guys are the guys who are going to clinch every 2 minutes, and half a minute, and it's boring.
Yeah. After a certain amount of time, they just do the perfect punch and win. Fair enough.
When I watch boxing, I want to watch two people who don't know what they're doing, but they're strong as fuck.
But yeah, I think I'm willing to give it to Oogie Boogie today. So, Oogie Boogie wins!
I will accept this victory as like a consolation prize from being blindsided last week.
Yeah, the time that you weren't expecting a mage, you got a mage.
If the contest says knight...
Yeah, and his title is Mage Knight.
It's not about title, it's about the class! We made that very clear.
Yeah. Yes, Boogie Boogie wins.
Lucky you avoided a second disqualification, young man.
Yeah, I did.
That joke's going to be funny for me, you, and the 2 people who we know who watch this show.
Yeah, that watched all of them.
Oh yeah, join us next week where we're doing who knows what.
We don't know
haven't
what.
made the plan yet.
Yeah, we don't know what. Bye, everybody.
Apologies, Rick. I paused there because I had a cough brewing, and you took it as a pause of, oh, he's clearly throwing to me, and then I spoke over you.